Good morning, everybody, and a happy Friday morning to you. We have another super long video. There's a lot in here. My goodness, I'm not even. Let's just jump in and get busy because there's so much. Let's go. We're going to start off with a reception that took place. Prince William joined King Charles and Queen Camilla as they hosted a reception for members of the diplomatic corps at Windsor Castle. This is an annual reception that celebrates the presence of one of the largest diplomatic corps in the world, and it allows King Charles and Queen Camilla to meet representatives of countries accredited to the court of St. James. Now, Catherine, just as an FYI, did not attend. This picture you're looking at is not from this particular evening. The reception, which was held at Windsor for the first time since 2001, there were over 900 members of the diplomatic corps just days after the king had his 77th birthday. Usually this is held at Buckingham Palace. Now, Camilla, as you can see, was wearing the Greville Emerald Kukushnik tiara, which has diamonds on the band with a large emerald. This headpiece was made in 1919 for Dame Margaret Greville, whose jewels were later inherited by the Queen Mother and handed down to Queen Elizabeth. And the first time it was ever seen in public was when Princess Eugenie wore it on her wedding day to Jack Brooksbank. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, this is the tiara that Meghan wanted for the wedding, and she was told she can't have it because it had already been put aside for Eugenie. What's being reported now is that Camilla was sending a message of support with the jewelry, and that's why she wore it. To be fair, other members of the royal family, including Catherine, are known for making similar quiet gestures with their jewelry and with their clothing. Remember when they all wore the same color to the Christmas event at Westminster Abbey after Meghan made those comments about you're not allowed to wear color? And also, FYI, Camilla was wearing the pear-shaped diamond demi-parve and her Van Cleef & Arpels serpent necklace. Let's move on now to Secret Weapons Sophie. She's still in Belize. She's in KO, I believe is how you pronounce it. And she visited the San Antonio Women's Cooperative. She learned about their work in empowering women through traditional crafts, entrepreneurship. The children did a fabulous dance for her, as you just saw. She was received by Miss Timothea Mesh, who is manager of the cooperative. She also learned about traditional crafting. She saw a pottery making demonstration, which she herself attempted to make some pottery. She saw an art exhibition, and she helped experience traditional Mayan food and preparation of that food. Now, we're going to keep covering Sophie, although I do believe that this trip is starting to come to an end for her because she's been going from place to place. I don't know how much longer she has, but I don't believe it's much longer. But you know me, as long as she's going, I'm going to continue to cover it. I think she's doing a great job on the pottery. And also, this picture came out and she's holding the official flower, I believe it is, of Belize. It's called the Black Orchid. Ooh, and here she is again. And a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us what she was wearing. We're going to continue on with Sophie. Now, I don't know if this happened that night or the night before, but Sophie joined residents of Seine Bight Village for a Garifuna Settlement Day celebration. Now, while she's there, she was able to look at some of their traditions. She heard their music. She saw their dance. And it's being said that this is all an essential part of Belize's cultural heritage. I don't like to call them costumes per se, but I absolutely love these vibrant, colorful outfits that these women are wearing. And it looks like they put on a great show for Sophie. Again, it's not over, and I'm going to keep an eye on, we'll continue to cover her until she gets back home. Let's move on. All right, next up, we have King Charles, who showed up to celebrate the Coronation Food Project as it ended its second year. Now, this was inspired by King Charles, established in 2023, and it actually addresses the urgent challenge of reducing food waste while tackling hunger. So King Charles went to Fordham's, and for those of you who don't know what Fordham's is, It's Fortnum's and Mason, and they are a very expensive store, but they sell just about everything. So while the king was there, he met representatives from Alliance Food Sourcing, as well as food rescue charities and manufacturers. The king was also shown examples of the meals that have been created from the surplus food and provided to the community in need. There were a lot of partners there, including food rescue charities, Fair Share UK, Felix Project UK, and the Coronation Food Project, it's being reported, has saved almost 5,000 tons of surplus food, which is the equivalent of 11 million meals. Well done, Your Majesty. Well done. And let's move on now to Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh. Remember, he is still in Nigeria, and he met the governor of Lagos. Also there was the Honorable Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Eden, and all of this took place at the Grand Ballroom of the Lagos Continental Hotel. And these meetings took place as Edward is on the board of trustees of the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award Foundation. That's why these meetings were happening. And when the meetings got to the end, of course, as is typical, Edward was given some gifts, and one of them was this unbelievable portrait. I think that's pretty cool. Then, of course, they headed in for the evening and the Gold Award presentation ceremony that was taking place in the banquet hall at Lagos House Marina. Looks like Edward's trip to Nigeria is going really well. Good for him. All right. We're going to move on now. Next up, we had another investiture held by the Prince of Wales on behalf of King Charles at Windsor Castle. And this investiture is the 29th of the royal family for 2025. William has done this 8 times, Charles 9 times, and all the others were done by Princess Anne. And let's move on to Sarah. Now, I told you the book was being delayed, but it's come out now. The book has been pulped, which means destroyed and recycled. It's canceled, not just merely delayed. And this decision was made after the scandal. Thousands of already printed copies of the book are reportedly being sent to the recycle center. So no, you will not be able to buy the book later. It's not just delayed, it's been killed. All right, next up, I just thought this was interesting. They're saying that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor still remains the Duke of York by law because the government says there's no need to legislate to remove the titles. And so even though they were axed by the king, it would appear that legally he's still the Duke of York. He still continues to hold the peerage. And so now there are demands for the steps to be taken in Parliament. Wow. And talking about Andrew, I just think this is important. Larry Summers, who was the former Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton, his name has come out. So now he's decided to step back from public life. And of course, he's expressed deep regret for past messages with Jeffrey Epstein. He's a teacher at Harvard. He stepped back from that. But the thing is, he could have come out earlier, but he didn't come out until his name was leaked out. But here we go. All right, here we go. Princess Beatrice's husband, Edward Mapelli Mosey, who, by the way, is the founder of Band of Property, he apparently was going to Royal Lodge on a regular basis, offering design expertise to Andrew because they were going to do a refurbishment project on the 17th century Windsor estate. But the king, of course, well, we know what happened. And so now the blueprints have totally been shelved. I personally wouldn't say it was a waste of time because at some point somebody else is going to want to, take over that property, and it is in severe need of refurbishment. So I'm sure the plans will come in handy, although they may come in handy in a year or two instead of right now. That's my personal opinion. Let's move on now to Catherine and William. Here we go. Catherine and William, the Prince and Princess of Wales, returned to the red carpet for the first time in 2 years. They attended the annual Royal Variety performance at Royal Albert Hall in London, Wednesday, November 19th. They looked coordinated because she was in this gorgeous green velvet gown with a V-neck, while William had a black bow tie and a velvet suit jacket, which I believe we saw, if I'm not mistaken, at the Earthshot Prize. Could be. Now, this was the 2025 Royal Variety Performance. This is their 6th time attending the event together, and again, their first time hitting the red carpet since November of 2023. When they were there in 2023, they brought Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel of Sweden. I don't know if you guys remember that, but anyway. And then, of course, in 2024, it was after Catherine's announcement for the cancer that she decided that she wasn't going to go there. But of course, now we know that she's in remission. Now, this event is an annual fundraiser for the Royal Variety Charity, which supports professionals from the entertainment industry in need. And in 2024, the charity established a dedicated team to provide mental health help, which is a cause that we know William and Catherine have made a priority of their royal work. Remember, Heads Together, they've been doing this for years before Harry and Meghan even jumped into the fray with it. It's been a tradition for members of the royal family to attend the Royal Variety Performance since King George V, a great fan of variety, became life patron in 1921. And that is the year that the event became annual, and the life patronage from the reigning monarch continues to present day, which demonstrates the royal family's long support and affection for the entertainment industry. This year, comedian, actor, and presenter Jason Manford is hosting the event, highlighted by performances by Jesse, Icelandic singer Lawfrey, and the cast of Les Miserables and Paddington the Musical, and more. As you just saw in some pictures, Catherine got some flowers from some twins, and she leaned over to them and goes, "My kids are going to be so sad to miss the performance, so we're going to have to keep this a big secret." And the kids were like, "Okay." And then she goes, "Are those flowers for me?" And the girl goes, "Yeah," and hands them over. Absolutely adorable. These two are absolutely the future of the monarchy, but we already knew that. I mean, look at her. Glamorous to the hilt. And a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us what she was wearing. So what do you think happened next? We know what happened next. Meghan literally timed it to the second when she was going to release information in an attempt to overshadow. And FYI, a big thank you to the Moaning Markles for this picture that you're looking at above, because I think that's freaking spot on. So to start with, in the first Christmas promo that was put out in an attempt to make her As Ever holiday collection appear aspirational, Meghan Markle wore a necklace. You guys have seen this necklace before. It cost $18,700. It's like a long nail, in between some gold bands. It's very interesting. And I believe it was paid for by Invictus, because Invictus, we know, was covering her clothing and her accessories. So I believe that Invictus paid for this necklace, and that's the first time we ever saw her wearing it. Then Meghan's newsletter came out. Strolls with Archie and Lily running in tow, her husband checking on the bees, Pula chasing the ball with Mia, trying to keep up. Again, she's putting out this stuff trying to sound relatable. So begins our Montecito Thanksgiving love story. While dreaming up her holiday collection, Meghan imagined what it would taste like to have a sage honey drizzled on her Thanksgiving turkey. And ta-da! Here we are, a stunning sage honey, aromatic, earthy, Epicurean in its depth and flavor, elegantly simplistic, you get the point? I find it interesting she referred to herself as our founder when she's the one who wrote this. You know she wrote this. She doesn't even call Harry by his name. She says, "my husband." Personally, I think Epicurean is going to be her new buzzword. Okay, then she puts out the video that shows her basting a honey or a turkey with this honey. There's some things I want to point out to you. I told you guys forever and a day ago that I was pretty sure that one of the things Meghan was going to teach us was how to fold napkins. So her video comes out, and what's one of the first things you think she does? She's folding a napkin, she's tying it, trying to show you how to do it. But here's the part I don't like. She then uses her disgusting fingers to wipe the plate clean. Restaurants don't do that with their fingers. They use napkins. Then you see her basting the turkey, and look how watery that stuff was. Honey is supposed to be thick, not watery and runny where it runs off your brush like that. And once again, notice brown, green, muted colors, boring, beige. So you know I had to do my own video.
Jesus.
This is ridiculous. Why do I always get stuck with this?
And then on the night of the Royal Variety performance, Meghan drops her next Netflix promo. So the trailer starts and it's got Meghan skipping like a 12-year-old through a tree farm trying to pick out just the right Christmas tree because, of course, this is supposed to make her seem relatable. Then, of course, we move on to the alcohol, and then she gets Harry to do a cameo by giving her what appears to me to be a very forced kiss. It then goes on to Meghan making wreaths with Kelly Zafin and Lindsay Roth, while you've got the overview of her saying, I love the holiday season. It's about finding time to connect with the people we love, embracing traditions and making new ones. I take that as a swipe at the royals because she knows that the king would like to know his grandchildren and he's got great sadness that he never sees them. And it's very obvious Meghan and Harry are withholding the children as, bargaining chips. She also supposedly took a letter from her children to St. Nick and had it put in her calligraphy, I might add, or her scratch, on a cup. I believe that this was done specifically for the Netflix show, but that's just my personal opinion. But yes, I believe she's using the children. Now, are you going to see the children in this show? No. You will not. She won't put the kids in there. Then it continues on. She's going through the Christmas tree. And then you see her there at the end with Will Gettr saying, being a hostess or a host is all about making people feel comfortable. You can do things that make people feel a little bit. And then they both turn to the camera and she goes, more seen. That's absolutely another swipe at the royals. And we see the same old, same old. She's cooking. She's back in the craft shack. She's making an advent calendar at one point, and she's putting notes in the calendar. You guys remember when she wrote the notes on the bananas? That's exactly what it looks like. She's there with the tennis girl, I can't remember her name, that beat Serena Williams, and they're making holiday poppers, and they're doing things that literally you can find on Pinterest. There is nothing original. Now, this is what it says at the promo. This December, join Meghan and Montecito for a magical holiday celebration. Prince Harry and Meghan's Archwell production said in a statement when the special was announced, together, friends and family deck the halls, create holiday feasts, craft heartfelt gifts, and share lots of laughs with simple how-tos to follow at home. It's a holiday wonder with warmth, tradition, and a genuine dose of joy. Okay, guys, there's no traditions because she has no traditions. There's no family except Doria and Harry because they've screwed off the rest of their family. And of course, the newsletter, which I showed you earlier, said, from the golden glimmer of raw honeycomb to the sweet aroma of spiced cider, every treat and treasure in the collection adds beauty and warmth to special occasions and cozy moments because gathering is the greatest gift of all. And as you just saw, she's hawking her wares. She's trying to get people to buy her products. Not interested in the least. And look at her face in this picture. She has several mask slips. She changes outfits like 5 times. And thank you to the office of CB on Twitter for pointing out, look at the likes and dislikes. This isn't going to go over better than anything else she did. I personally believe this is going to be the death keel for her brand with Netflix. And let's move on to the next thing. Harry is going to be speaking. It comes out to $350 approximately a head at a conference for real estate agents in Canada. Now, first of all, he's trying to help them with, making sure that it's affordable housing. What does that sound like? That sounds like his brother's Homewards initiative, doesn't it? Keep in mind, this is a man who lived for free at Clarence House. Then he moved into Notcott in 2013 after William got married. He lived there for free in Nottingham Cottage on the Palace of Kensington grounds. Then they moved to Frogmore Cottage, paid for in full. The point is, this is a man who's never had to pay rent. Now he's living in a $15 million mansion, and we found out that he's bought a home in Portugal. So you're looking at this man thinking, what the heck do you know about people that need housing? You know nothing. It is ironic that Harry is appearing at a real estate conference talking about service and leadership when his service as a working royal lasted 20 months after he married Meghan. He betrayed his grandmother, who he called his commander-in-chief. He's trashed the monarchy. He's destructive in interviews. He did that ill-judged memoir, The Spare. And as far as leadership goes, it was pointed out that the Charity Commission was critical of the way his Lesotho charity, Sentabale, was run while he was the patron. He is a member of the Board of African Parks, which has admitted abuses, but he's totally remained silent about this. He's got Invictus, but even that's not going well. They've lost over 2,000 veterans, especially when it came out that funds for Invictus were being used to fund Harry and Meghan multimillionaires, their travel, their hotel, their security, their food, her clothing, her jewelry. I mean, Harry, could make money on the speaking circuit, but it's aimless, like his brief appearances in Meghan's videos. And have you heard him speak lately?
Focus on giving a platform to young people. It's their future. I think that the longer that we are on planet Earth, the more experience we have naturally. Who are we, in our sort of 40s or 50s or 60s to be able to say this is what we're going to create for you without actually asking you? So that to me has been a sort of a guiding light for me, certainly over the last 20 years. And again, fortunate enough to get out there. And that's the
pearls of wisdom, I'm telling you. And finally, Spitting Image came out again. You guys are going to want to listen to this. I love this.
Show me the money!
I have! There is no more money!
I know what you're thinking. Did Netflix cancel 6 series or only 5? You gotta ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya? Punk?
Yeah, so lucky, very grateful. I'm batting well above my average. Please stop pointing the gun at me.
He's not the Messiah! He's a very naughty boy!
You're so funny, Megs.
What do you mean I'm funny? I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown? I amuse you? I make you laugh? I'm here to fucking amuse you? What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Oh, you nearly had me there, Megs. Great bants.
No! I'm serious, H! How am I funny?
You guys, if you thought this video was something, wait till tomorrow. I'm not kidding. Oh my God, wait till you see what's coming. Put your comments down because I'm reading them. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, a link to my second channel. We got some great recipes on there. A link to my father's book, which is still up for sale on Amazon, makes a good stocking stuffer, and a link to my Amazon wish list, as well as a physical address. For those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.